I was brought in by bus, for the first time, one of the hangar doors, the one on the end, was open. Clear as day, in the hangar, taking up almost all the hangar, was the disc. As I walked in there, I thought, well, this is the new advanced aircraft we've been working on, and this is why people keep seeing flying saucers, because it's ours, and we've just been testing it, probably for all these years. With the clearance that I had, that was known as Majestic clearance, there were only 22 people at S4 with that clearance to work on the craft. The work that I did basically entailed back engineering the power and propulsion system. It's like seeing a house lift off the ground. You can't imagine the energy involved to do that. You're essentially bending space toward the craft. The craft becomes part of that space, and then when the gravity amplifiers are shut down, the craft is essentially where it was focused. It happens virtually instantaneously because of the fact that gravity distorts time.
I have no doubts that Lazar actually was in a place where top secret investigations were going on.
There's too much that Bob knows, I think. It couldn't be explained any other way. He knows about the layout of the base. He knew about people who were involved in security checks. He knew when and where the test flights were going to take place because he took people out there 3 weeks in a row and they videotaped the tests. How did he know this stuff if he in fact did not have some kind of inside knowledge?
Do I believe Bob Lazar? My answer to that is yes. He wasn't in it for publicity. He surely wasn't in it for the money. He lost everything he had. I believe he's totally sincere.
Essentially, the bulk of what has gone on there in the last 10 years has not emerged from the black.
I got a lot of calls from former workers at the base who all tell basically the same story, and that they saw these craft, disc-shaped craft, they saw them fly, they saw them stored in crates or under tarps.
One of the things I worked on was a flying disc simulator to train pilots to fly this strange-looking craft.
Several people who talked to me were threatened. Several of them, right in a row, were threatened to keep their mouths shut.
I didn't think it was beyond their capability to kill me, just to stop the word from getting out.
Hi, my name is Bruce Burgess, and I've been making documentaries for about the last 20 years. You may have seen some of them. They've been on all sorts of subjects like UFOs, Bigfoot, the Bermuda Triangle, the Holy Grail, secret societies. But back in 1996, I made a television documentary called Dreamland, which was about a secret base out in Nevada called Area 51, and a chap called Bob Lazar, who claimed to have worked out there on recovered alien spacecraft. And ever since I made it, I thought that it would make a fascinating feature film, basically. It's a pretty outlandish subject because it goes straight to the heart of what contact or not we've made with alien extraterrestrials, whether we have or haven't had spacecraft that have somehow, come to this planet, maybe even crashed and been recovered. But above all, what fascinated me was it's an intensely human story. It's one man's story about what he claims to have happened, that he was exposed to all sorts of secrets and information, which of course could have huge ramifications for our civilization. So basically, I want to make a film on his story and on Area 51, and I'm coming to you for some money, basically, to help me make it. The studios and television networks have done films on Area 51, but without being impolite, I think they're all cheesy as hell. And what I want to do is bring my talent, whatever that is, as a documentary maker, to make a film that's different, a film that really tells the story, and sets out the facts as we know them. So I want your money. So whether it's $1 or $100 or $1,000, everything will be gratefully received. And I want to interact with my investors all the way through the process, and in a way you can come on the journey with me. So thanks for listening to me. I hope you give me some dollars. I hope you join the team, and I look forward to talking to you, emailing you, chatting with you, and all of you who want to come on this journey, this incredible journey with me. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.